Hello, and welcome to the Benedictine University Library Express webinar on PowerPoint presentations. My name is Cynthia Scott, and I'm the Digital Resources Librarian here at Benedictine University. PowerPoints are ubiquitous, and just a little factoid for you. PowerPoint worldwide market share for presentation software is 95%. So PowerPoints are used a lot in corporate world and in academia, but they're not always used well. So I'm going to briefly discuss research studies on the use of PowerPoint in class lectures, and then I'll move on to show you all some applications to enhance slide usage in the lecture format. Muhlenberg College researchers use the Baddeley-Hitch model of working memory as their basis for studying the effectiveness of PowerPoint lectures. And this is a simple image depicting the model of working memory. And the top red hexagon illustrates the executive functions of the brain. And this is attention, decision-making, and critical thinking. And the bottom gray bar is the long-term memory. And in between these two functions, the executive function and memory, is a green diamond that's shown here as time in order, and it's also known as the episodic buffer. So competing for the buffer and the brain's attention are auditory and visual signals, which are shown here in the orange and the blue. In a classroom PowerPoint lecture setting, a student is receiving many auditory signals. They're listening to the instructor. Perhaps they can hear some peers talking. And then there's the sound effects that are in the PowerPoint themselves. And this could be clicks, videos, or transition audio. And they're also receiving multiple visual signals. The instructor is in the front of the class, the classmates are around them, and the PowerPoint itself is full of visual stimuli with text, fonts, color, slide transitioning, and any text animation. So in order to minimize the auditory and visual cues that are filling up the buffer and competing for the student's attention, we need to strip away distractions from the PowerPoint slides themselves. This is an example of a poorly designed PowerPoint slide, and Muhlenberg College found that the PowerPoint characteristics that students didn't like were related to design distractions. So there's many distractions on this slide. Generally, too many words on a slide is a distraction. Clip art, such as this guy over here. Movement animation, such as that, like when you click and it brings in another bullet point or it highlights a word. And transitioning between PowerPoints and websites. And also just too many colors and too many fonts. And this slide has a lot of those things which are distracting. The study found that students preferred slides that minimized distractions and allowed for a more focused attention. So these type of slides are, as we can see, providing bulleted lists to help organize ideas and structure the lecture, providing images and graphs that are then given verbal explanations rather than text-heavy clarification, and images and graphs that are also related to the content of the class and the lecture. One more point of research, and this is from Hagerstown Community College. They looked at research literature on the impact of PowerPoint lectures and student learning. So they did a literature review, and they found that when comparing learning outcomes across an entire course, there was no difference between traditional lecture or PowerPoint lecture. So there was no difference in students' performance, student grades, short-term memory or long-term memory of lecture content. But while both traditional lecture styles or PowerPoint lecture styles can be either interesting or boring, students preferred PowerPoint lectures. And the research shows that students rated PowerPoint lectures higher than lectures without PowerPoints. And they also rated the course higher and rated their instructor higher when PowerPoints were used. And subjectively, students believed they learned more with PowerPoint lectures. Finally, research shows that there is inconclusive evidence on student learning when you compare sharing PowerPoint slides either before or after the class. So how do we go beyond text-heavy slides and provide lecture slides that are more and engaging for students? And here's examples of slides, and the very first one is a very text-heavy slide. And all the research shows that you need to limit the number of bullet points and limit the number of words on a slide. As academics, it's hard to resist putting on your slide a lot of the information that you want students to learn. Clearly, this first slide, we can assume that these are points that the instructor wants the students to retain and study. But that dense kind of information is in the textbooks or provided in handouts, and it's not the best use of the actual slide. So here's 3 styles, and as you move to the right, you can see that the text becomes smaller and visual images become bigger. And research shows that lecture slides with more visual images providing verbal explanations by the instructor is more effective in retaining students' attentions. Now this is a great example of using images with the lecture. This PowerPoint sequence was developed for a course on Shakespeare, and the topic for the class was Elizabethan England during the time of Shakespeare and its relation to Romeo and Juliet, which is the text they were currently studying. Now I am showing you the presenter view, so you can see at the bottom the instructor's notes, but the students would only see the image, and the instructor is verbally relaying the information related to the image and related to Romeo and Juliet. And this is another image from the same course, and this is an image of a classroom setting. And again, in the bottom you can see that what the instructor is relating to the students is the grammar school during Elizabethan England, and he relates it to the text in Romeo and Juliet regarding schoolboys. So in addition to using images in PowerPoint slides, you can also incorporate other applications such as whiteboards, videos, websites, and polling questions. And this is an example of the use of a whiteboard. And let me show you how you would set up a whiteboard in your PowerPoint slide. So let me get out of my slide share. You'll need to set up this developer tab. And in order to do that, you go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and you need to make sure that your developer tab is checked. And then you click OK. So let's do that one more time. It's File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and you would check the Developer tab. Now then, here's your Developer tab, which would appear. To put the whiteboard in your slide, you click on the AB text box here, and you're going to draw your whiteboard. Once you do that, you can right-click within the whiteboard and grab Property Sheet, and you just need to make 2 changes in this Properties display. Enter key behavior, change that to true, and multi-line, change that to true. So every time you want to create a whiteboard in your slide, you'll need to make these changes, and that was to true, key behavior, and multi-line to true, and then we just close out. Now in the slideshow view, then you would capture discussion points or your notes as you're going along. And if you share, your slides with students after class, they will have these notes that were relayed during the classroom. Now we can also use videos within PowerPoints, and you can embed YouTube videos. You can use videos from the library catalog, such as Films on Demand or Alexander Street Press videos. And finally, I'll show you Live Slide, which incorporates videos, websites, and polling. So let's see how to embed YouTube videos. And I'm going to go out of my slide share. Now I am using PowerPoint 2016. So I go to Insert, Video, Online Video, and in PowerPoint 2016 you have a YouTube search box. So I am going to use that. And I'm going to select this first box on St. Benedict. And I insert that. Now to make it larger during the classroom viewing, you would stretch it. Okay, but I'm going to minimize that. And if you have PowerPoint 2010 or 2013, you'll go through a different process. So let's go to YouTube, and I've searched History of St. Benedict, and I'm going to select this video. And I'll click on Share and Embed. Now I want it to start at 0, and that is checked. And I'm going to click on Copy. And when I come back into my slide, I go to Insert, Video, Online Video. And in PowerPoint 2013 or 2010, you won't have this YouTube search box. So you'll go to this embed code and you'll paste your code right there. And here comes my YouTube video from the second method. Now if I go to see how the students view this, they both will have the play buttons. So there's no difference really. Let's look at library videos and how do I incorporate a link to a library video. So again, let me go out of my slides and I'll go to the online catalog. And I'm going to Books and Videos tab, and I will look for a video on Vincent van Gogh. And here's one, and it's provided by Films on Demand. So I'm going to click on Get It Online and go to the Embed link. Now this is a licensed product for Benedictine University, and we have a lot of authentication in this, but I need this whole URL. So I'm going to copy that URL. And in addition, I have this Films on Demand up in my browser when I'm doing my PowerPoint. It does not have to be this particular video that I'm going to show, but I need to have Films on Demand already present in the browser. Now in order to put that in my PowerPoint, I go to Insert, Text Box, and I'm going to create a title. And we'll call it Vincent van Gogh. And then I capture that, and I go to Insert, Hyperlink, and down in the address bar, I'm going to paste that URL that I just copied. So here's my title, Text to Display, Vincent van Gogh, and I've just pasted that whole URL into the address. Let's see what that looks like in my presentation. So here, and I click on that. Now this will bounce me out to my browser and start the video. And again, I can enlarge the screen for viewing, and I have the play button. Okay, so that would be how you link to videos from the library. Now let's look at LiveSlide. And the LiveSlide application lets you do within PowerPoint same YouTube, library videos, websites, and polling. And let me show you LiveSlide. It is a free application, and it was developed by the same developers that created Poll Everywhere. So just from this one application, you can do both LiveSlide videos and Poll Everywhere within PowerPoint. It only takes about 15 seconds to download, so it's very easy. I have it downloaded on my laptop. You can download it to your laptop or computer. But if you go into a classroom and you're not using your laptop, you're using the classroom computer, you will need to download it to that computer before you open your PowerPoints. But I've been to Kindle and to Goodwin, and it was very easily done. Again, it's probably 15 seconds to download it, and then when you open your PowerPoints, you'll see LiveSlide is available to you. So let's see how we can get LiveSlide. Okay, so let's create a YouTube video in LiveSlide. So you can see I have a LiveSlide tab, and that's because I had downloaded it. So I'm going to go grab a YouTube video. I'll take the same one. I'm going to go to share, and I just need to copy this little bit of code here. So I copy that, click on LiveSlide, and just paste it right here in the box and click on insert. Now let's see what it looks like for a classroom presentation. You know, it's really nice. It takes up your whole screen. You know, you don't have all the YouTube stuff connected to it. It's a very nice display. Let's look at Poll Everywhere. Poll Everywhere is a free application for classroom polling, and there's many different activities. There's multiple choice polls, open-ended questions, Q&A, rank order, clickable images. There's quite a lot you can do, and they can offer you for a free version. So let me log in. And I have in fact created 2 polls. So let's go into my presentation and click on LiveSlide and click on Poll Slide. And here comes my polls. And I just click on one of them that I want. And I'm going to go ahead and insert that into my slide. And students, when you display it, students can either text this and the answer, or they can actually go to the website, which I'll go to now. And I believe 40 students can respond at the same time. So you can use it in a classroom very interactively. And I'm about ready to post my own response. So the question is, the university is named after, and I'm going to select St. Benedict. And it's just instantaneous, and you can capture multiple students, 40 students, as they respond. So that's a nice use of LiveSlide. Another use is to actually bring web pages into LiveSlide. So if I want to, a lot of times there'll be infographics, and it can be a hassle to capture the image, copy it, resize it. But here's an image I want. It's 100 websites that rule the internet. I'm just going to grab the URL, and I go into my PowerPoint, and I go to LiveSlide, and I'm going to paste that URL. And when I'm in the class, it's really nicely displayed. It's actually, and I can scroll, so I'm not in a frozen image. So let's do another one. Let's say I want to discuss the national anthem issue, and I can go to Twitter and hashtag national anthem, and I'm just going to copy that URL. I go back into my PowerPoint, live slide, and I paste that URL. And when I'm in the classroom discussion, I'm still in the PowerPoint, so I'm not doing a lot of bouncing around between PowerPoint and the browser. I'm still in PowerPoint, so it's a very smooth transition, and we can discuss national anthem hashtag. And if I want to, let's say I change my mind and I want to also, well, incorporate NFL boycott, LiveSlide takes me to the latest Twitter feeds on NFL boycott. So it's just a really smooth transitioning using this within PowerPoint. So I want to thank you all for joining us on this brief PowerPoint presentation. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.